Falcon, Paladin, and Somicron. Falcon hates puns and thinks that they're all wrong. One's American and one is an Aussie. Talking about StarCraft 2 and the esports scene.
Hello and welcome.
Hello and welcome. Oh, there was a pause there.
Yeah, just a minor one.
I will account for that next time.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. I'll remember.
Yeah.
Probably not, but I will try.
Probably not. Give it a go,
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
I will.
All right.
Ah,
How are you?
kind of tired for some reason. I got like 9.5 hours of sleep last night, but
Damn.
maybe that was too much. I don't know. Bodies are weird.
Yeah, that's true.
Sleep too little, be tired. Sleep too long, be tired. It's not fair.
Let's have a look at my sleep tracker and see how much sleep I got. Because I'm
Not enough. You're on the not enough side of it.
You reckon?
Yes.
Oh, what makes you say that?
Because in your Discord server, you've been like, I got 3 hours of sleep last night.
Yeah, that was like a week ago.
Yeah. That doesn't
Right.
count? What are we saying here?
I mean, I'm talking about today, but yeah.
Oh, you meant just very recent history. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my sleep tracker evidently wasn't working properly because it thinks I slept from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., which I did get out of bed at 6 a.m., but I went to bed a heck of a lot earlier than 2 a.m.
Ah, okay. So this is not helpful information, is what you're saying.
No.
Yeah.
But given that I know I went to bed around 7:30, we can probably call that like 10 hours. Like 9.5.
No. Ooh, that sounds nice. 10 hours sounds nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, feeling okay otherwise. Work was like kind of a quiet morning, and then all of a sudden, like 8 people needed things from me, and I was like, "Rah!"
Well, good thing you've got that staff now. You can delegate. You've got 2 staff members.
That is partially true. That did help, but yeah, I mean, it was just like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and that'll take 30 seconds to start the process. So I had 30 seconds to work on this thing, and then just like back and forth and all over the place, and whew, it was an exciting afternoon for sure. And my favorite part of being a software tester is I'm like, here's a problem, developers, and they're like, all right, fix. Here's your fix, and then I test it again, and it's still broken the exact same way, and I'm like, okay, honestly, did you even look at this before you sent it back, or did you just be like, throw a band-aid on it, toss it back over the wall, try again? I think that's what happens sometimes. So I need to have a talk with my developers and be like, look, guys, it wastes everyone's time when you do this. Do it right, guys.
I mean, I'm just wondering if they did think they did it right. Like,
no, I mean, sometimes yes. Sometimes it's like, well, it worked in my environment. I'm not sure why it's not working in yours, and then we can hash it out.
Right.
But it's worse when I'm like, it doesn't work, and I throw it back, and they're like, oh, you're right, it doesn't. It's like,
they just wrote some untested code, pushed it live, be like, look, see, we totally fixed it, and all they did was like adjust the banner size or something.
Yeah, something like that. Q doesn't have testers, but that sounds real dangerous, man. Boilermaker, been working a ton. Sleep schedule messed. Oh, been working a ton, so your sleep schedule is messed up. Gotcha. I got that sentence figured out. Yeah, working a lot screws with your sleep for sure. I understand that.
Yep. Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah. So I have so my oldest, he turned 13, which that's kind of nuts. His birthday was on Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday. And so we do this family link kind of internet protection stuff for the phone that he has, right? Because I just don't want to give him just a completely unfettered access.
Right.
And when the kid turns 13, like the big major changes, they can get access to YouTube. So, oh my gosh, that was the thing. He's been looking forward to this for weeks. He's like, I just want YouTube. I'm like, yes, I get it, kid. And so on his birthday morning at like 7 a.m., he's like, I won't let me download YouTube. And I'm like, oh, crap. So I have to spend all day being like, Google, has anybody else had this problem?
He's already a heroin addict.
I know, right?
He's like, today's the day he's been like saving up for his next fix. And it's like 13, like get all the fixes of YouTube that I want whenever I want it. And yeah, you've given it to him.
I mean, it took honestly 4 hours of just Googling, trying to find other problems.
Hours?
And yes, it's apparently we're the only people who've ever had this problem. I don't know why.
Googling.
Man.
That's a great name.
Yeah. So, I mean, eventually I was just like, we're just doing the standard troubleshooting stuff. We're going to take it off his phone and restart it and check for updates and put everything back on his phone and see what happens. And even then, so after that, it still wasn't working. And so then I had to go to my device where I have access to like, I can approve and disapprove apps, which is nice. And way at the very bottom of this list of like 200 apps, it was YouTube.
Right, because it's sorted alphabetically.
It's by use time. And he didn't have any use time on it, right? Because he hadn't used it.
Right.
So that's what it was sorted by. It's like, your kid never uses this app. You don't care about it. I'm like, well, I do now. And so, yeah, so that was set to disable. So there were like 4 different statuses, and one of them that I thought would just make it work didn't. And then I was like, try it now. And he's like, it still doesn't work. I hate you. And I'm like, and yeah. So then after that, finally, I found the correct setting on my side of it after we reset everything under the sun on his side, and then it worked. So what I'm trying to say is having kids is a lot of work.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to take that into advice when considering them.
Yes, you should. You definitely should take that into consideration.
Yeah. All right. Well,
anyway.
I mean, was he at least glad with his habit forming app? Like, is it the kids' version of YouTube, or is it like access to everything?
No, this is real YouTube. He had kids' YouTube before, which sucks.
Yes.
Like, he hates it, and I don't blame him. So now it's real YouTube. I could set it to like restricted mode though, where YouTube tries their very, very best, which isn't perfect, but right to kind of keep adult stuff out. But I don't know. I think YouTube is honestly better today than it was 10 years ago for sure. I think there used to be a lot more garbage on it that they just couldn't figure out how to get rid of. But I don't know. A little bit better now. He just spends all his time watching Hearthstone videos anyway. He's way into Hearthstone right now, so
fair enough. Fair enough.
Like, he got this birthday money, and he's like, I want to buy Hearthstone stuff. And I'm like, are you, of all the things you want to spend your money on, kiddo, come on. Hearthstone?
Loot boxes. Woo.
There's a hero I want. It's, oh my gosh. It's not even like cards.
He's going to pay
pure cosmetics.
He's paying $15 for a JPEG.
Yeah.
Wow. Kids.
Look, kiddo, I'm going to tell you, this is a dumb thing to buy, but I'm not going to stop you from doing it because you need to learn these lessons.
Right.
Yeah. And then he was mad. Hang on. What did he text? This morning. I was like, how's it going? And he's like, I'm pissed. I'm like, oh, what happened? They put the hero Maeve back in the shop. And I'm like, what? I don't have a unique rogue hero anymore.
Oh, did he have Maeve and no one else could get it because she wasn't in the shop? Okay.
And he's mad now that she's generally available to the public.
Oh, Blizzard devalued your JPEG. That happens.
It totally happens. That's the risk, man.
Yep.
Anyway, good times. Good times with a 13-year-old. It's a funny kid. So yeah, that was my weekend.
That actually reminds me of I saw it in relatively new news articles that Kings of Leon are releasing their new album as an NFT, non-fungible token, which is basically kind of like the imposed value of having a Maeve character, which is you pay for it once, and if other people can't get it, it's got value, because non-fungible tokens can be... You trying to high-five me? What's going on?
I'm out of focus on your stream, and I'm trying to fix it.
Yeah, well, did it work?
No, sometimes that works.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But basically, Kings of Leon are releasing a album as a cryptocurrency somehow, as a coin. I don't understand how it works.
The future is a weird place, man. We live in the weirdest place.
Yeah, it's true.
No, so you remember Perk coming into the Twitch stream a couple weeks ago and talking about NBA Top Shot?
No.
Okay, so he comes in and he's like, "You should get into NBA Top Shot." I'm like, "I don't know what that is." I googled it. It is turning basketball highlights into like collectible trading cards.
Huh.
So, but here's the dumb thing. There's nothing unique about these. You can get any of these highlights on YouTube at like 1440p or 4K.
Right.
I don't understand it. Someone's like, "I'll pay you $10 for this Kobe game winner shot from 2008." Yeah, what a great deal for me. And I'm like, "But what what is going on? I don't understand it at all."
Yeah, no, it's like a digital trading card, but
It is.
instead of cards, it's TV clips.
Yeah. Yes. And like somebody tried to make the argument it's like buying paintings. There's reproductions of paintings all over the place. No, but literally there's no quality difference between the clip that you own right now and the one that anybody can watch on YouTube right this very second. There's no difference.
There's also
It's
an argument
digital.
to be made that digital images of like the Mona Lisa are better because you don't have to go to France to get them, and you'll get closer to a digital image to your face than you will the actual photo or the actual picture, because it's like cordoned off behind a barricade. You can't like smudge your face against it, but they could easily get like a macro lens in there and get a super high detailed photograph of it. So it's arguably a better experience.
Yes, fair. Anyway, I don't expect you to like explain this to me. I'm just saying it's crazy, and 2021 is a nutso place.
Right. I'm just wondering if they're going to use this as like grounds for takedowns on the YouTube clips.
No, they don't. That's the other thing. Like, they don't legally own it because it's NBA's property. Like,
is NBA Top Shot not run by NBA?
No, as far as I know.
It's got their logo on it. All 2020 NBA properties included, all rights reserved. It sounds like it's theirs.
Holy crap, it is. All right, so that changes it a little bit, I guess.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, if this turns into like a "you're the only person on Earth who gets this Shaq dunk," we're gonna copyright claim every other version of it online. This is yours now. Then maybe this kind of makes sense, but also that sucks.
Right.
Really bad if that's what they're doing.
I mean, I guess the question is, how many copies of the Shaq dunk can there be?
Right. Oh my gosh. Buy this pack, they say. It's $200. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, $200. Well, the common one, the Seeing Stars, is only $14. And you get 3 common moments.
Satan is directly behind this idea.
You reckon?
Yes, the Prince of Darkness one day bubbled up from hell in a meeting with all of the NBA owners and was like, "Hey, I got something for you." And they're like, "Oh, hail Satan, what you got for us today, man?" Yeah. This is what it is. Holy crap. Some marketing person made a straight up deal with the Lord of Darkness here. Wow. I cannot even... I'm not usually one to drop the label evil on stuff, but holy crap. It's worse than Beanie Babies, Aki. Yeah.
It's far worse than Beanie Babies.
Worse. At least you have a stupid doll. And sure, maybe it's worth less than nothing, but you own it. It's a thing.
Well, you own the digital thing. Like, you own rights to a thing. You have it saved locally in your wallet. Like, I don't know how this works.
But, like, can you... So here's the thing. It's all about supply and demand, right?
Right. Well, I mean,
your stuff is worth as much as somebody else will pay for it. If you have this Shaq dunk and somebody's willing to pay you $100 for the Shaq dunk, it's worth $100. Congratulations, right? Yeah.
So the featured packs, like if you were to buy, everything seems to be sold out.
Yes, that's a problem.
So,
I'm noticing this.
like, I don't think anyone could get into it without going to the marketplace and buying from other people.
The marketplace.
Holy crap! Tyler Hero,
Yeah.
3-pointer, February 28th, $509.
Is that on the okay? That's on the marketplace.
Yeah, that's by newest. Let's go by highest ask.
Here's that rare tier. Wait,
Okay.
the legendary tier is the most expensive, my guess.
Okay.
My god, $25,000.
Yeah, $25,000, and there's only 2 listings. So
There's 6 listings of Giannis Antetokounmpo's block from November 16th, 2019. $52,000, 659. Are people buying these?
I don't know to see if like they've been trading or not. If people are putting them up.
I need to know. Like eBay shows you listings that have sold.
Right.
I need that here.
The interesting thing is when I clicked on the $250,000 one, it showed me the clip. Like I see the dunk. Well, not the dunk.
Yeah.
Like
I did the same thing. Like here's Bol making a fairly decent assist. The lowest price it's available for is $5,000.
Huh.
This cannot possibly work. This cannot possibly work as a thing.
Oh, the recent sale history. If you click on a moment and then scroll down, it has a recent sales history.
Same time I saw it as you.
Someone bought one for $100,000.
No.
Yeah, top sale.
No.
February 23rd. Some guy called Hardy.
So basically, cryptocurrencies open the door for this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Because
Aki says it's a playground for the super rich.
Yeah.
Sure, but like, invest in the stock market? I mean, I don't get it. Okay. I mean, the problem is this is only as good as the size of your player base, right?
What do you mean?
Same thing with the stock market. If the stock market was traded by 8 people, it would suck.
Right.
Right? The only reason it's as big as it is because millions and millions and millions of people buy into it.
Sure.
I just don't see this doing that.
What has better brand recognition, the NBA or the stock market?
Well, I think more people are invested in the stock market than watch the NBA, if that's what you're asking.
You reckon?
Yeah. Just through 401ks and like...
Well, okay. How many people are actively invested in the stock market?
Yeah. How many people are actively like trading?
Right. Versus how many people tune in every night or every other night. I don't know how often NBA plays. But how many people watch the NBA?
Yeah. As compared to how many people actively trade?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you're probably right. I think more people watch NBA games than actively do stock market things.
Right. What's the like? Oh wow, I was looking at the like tier levels of rarity, and there's like common, rare, legendary, and then there's ultimate, which is just coming soon. So there's got to be some clips out there that are ultimate ranked. I can only assume they'll only be selling for at least $1 million. But imagine if they did this for like the NFL as well, like because there's a crap ton of people that watch like the Super Bowl, right? Yep. And so if you've got the moments from the Super Bowl, I imagine that'll be worth money.
See, but you don't. That's the flaw in this thing. I mean, again, if this turns into some crazy dystopian, the NBA copyright claims every other copy of this play on the internet to the extent that they can. Mm-hmm. Sure, maybe this makes some sense. But if that doesn't happen, what are we doing?
I don't know.
At that point, the value is only what other people say, what other people are willing to assign the value,
Yeah.
which is fine, but
Yep.
breaking my brain.
This is the weirdest timeline.
Weirdest timeline. Absolutely. I don't know. I guess I just keep going back to how different is this from the Bitcoin that I own?
Incredibly
Right.
different. Like nobody can go onto YouTube and Google for your Bitcoin, right? Like,
Right. No. But my Bitcoin only has value insofar as someone's willing to pay me for my Bitcoin, right?
well, it's the same with any of the investments you put into the stock market, right? They only
Yeah,
have the
yeah.
value other people say. But I guess the reason why Bitcoin is so attractive is if like you put money into a stock and it fails, you lose everything. If Bitcoin turns out to be a bubble and the value of it drops, you've lost a bunch of money probably, but you still have that coin. And so if it regains value because you effectively can't kill it, right? There's a chance it will always just revalue itself. Look at Dogecoin, right? Like that got some value after years of nothing, despite only being a meme.
Right.
And it's on the way back down, right? Because of course it is. But theoretically, it could go back up again.
Yeah. I mean, this is just the rawest, most base form of things only have value insofar as others value them.
Mm-hmm.
And see, not even others. It's one person. If somebody walks up to you and says, "I'll buy you your hat for $10 million," your hat is worth $10 million. That's all it takes.
Right.
Crazy.
So you can get in on Drop Shot? Top Shot?
Heck no.
No?
No.
What if you opened up one of these loot box like packs? That's definitely not gambling for kids.
Nope.
And you got some really awesome moment that was worth like $250,000. Doesn't that excite you?
No.
No? Okay.
I mean, if I could immediately turn it around for $250,000, yes, that sounds great. Let's do that. But otherwise, no. Man. All right. We spent enough time on this insanity.
Yeah. Ugh, sports.
Weirdest timeline. All right. StarCraft. StarCraft is happening, kind of.
What's happening? Nothing's happened.
Well, there was a little bit of sad news. Creighton Olsen tweeted today that he, in the previous, had been casting the qualifiers for GSLs.
Mm-hmm.
And Africa today said, no, we're not doing that anymore.
Right.
Because Africa is on a bit of a tear at removing English casts of their content.
I think at least for the qualifiers of GSL, it's not going to be cast. Period. It's not just we're just not letting the English speakers doing it. It's not being cast at all.
Which is garbage.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing, but at the end of the day, these are mostly players that I'm not particularly interested in. And it's also only 3 maps. Like in the map pool, it's not even like all these players, so you get a wide variety of maps to see different things. It's only Death Aura, Lightshade, and Pillars of Gold, right? So if you want to watch a bunch of a tournament with just those 3 maps, that's what you're missing out here.
Congratulations.
With up and coming players mostly.
Well, here's what I don't get too. Creighton said Africa's staff told him it takes too much time to collect and check each replay.
So I assume they were letting him
the
play from replay?
The collecting I understand. What are we checking?
To make sure that
maybe
that they are the replays of the games that were played.
Okay.
Because
I mean,
let's say you had a really sick strategy that won you a game, but you also had another replay where you also won a game against the same player on the same map, but you didn't use that sick strategy. Which one do you submit? You need to hide the strategy for a little bit longer.
Sure, but I mean, at that point, Creighton can be the one who's like, this isn't the replay that we were sent, and then you punish the player.
What do you mean?
Like,
how would he know? He hasn't seen the games. These games aren't broadcast live. He's casting them from replay.
Yeah, he knows who the players are, Do you think Maru just has a random game between him and Solar from some other time that he can fake the time and date stamp on and be like, "Yep, this is the one I played today"? Really? On
I mean,
this map?
how hard is it to fake the
How?
time and date stamp on that?
Okay, but even then,
Like,
it's you have to be against that player and on this map. How many of these do you have lying around?
I imagine well, I mean, here's the thing. I imagine that they're probably a lot, if they ladder regularly, they probably have hundreds, right? If they're grinding out practice games on ladder, probably hundreds. But, like, how would Creighton know it in the first place, apart from, does it say when you played it on a replay? I genuinely don't remember. Like, does it say when the game was played?
I'm, hold on 2 seconds. I never pay attention to that. And I'm getting Brood War and StarCraft 2 confused in my head, so hold on a second.
So when I'm looking at a replay, it says last modified, well, modified on, and I assume that's last modified.
Yeah.
In the
That's
properties.
going to be when you downloaded it. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So I don't
Gonna
know.
hop in game real quick. We'll get that answer.
All right, you hop in, yeah.
Anyway, whatever. It's not like we're going to find a way to convince Africa to let this happen. It's not gonna
Right,
happen.
no.
Yeah.
But,
Is right. I say.
Oh, I mean, I know how Africa would have to check each replay to make sure both players submitted the same games. Right, that's why they have to check it. To be like, oh, yes, okay. Maru and Ro both submitted the same replays for the same 3 games on the same maps. Now we can verify these results. Which I kind of assume, well, they're probably not doing it. They probably just have someone in, like, a chat channel talking to them, being like, all right, it's time for your games.
Right. Yeah, no, in game, they don't give you a date. They broke the ability to show how long each game is in the client months
really?
and months ago and never brought it back. Yeah. That was such a sad thing.
Wait, what do you mean? When you look at a replay, you can tell how long the game is. Because I did that when because when Aki and we screened cheese again.
I literally was just in there.
Right, but literally
right
last week or whatever, we were screening your cheese, and all I did was put them in a folder that StarCraft 2 could see, and then I went through and went, this one's above 7 minutes, delete. This one's above 7 minutes, delete. This one's above 7 minutes, delete. I could see how long the games were.
In the client?
Yeah.
That's really weird. Maybe I can fix mine then, because mine has not showed me that for a long time now.
Fair enough. Yep, I think it's definitely doable. Actually, you know what? I'm going to load up StarCraft 2 right now.
Go SSD. Google is not happening.
Okay, it's loading. It's loading. It's loading. It's loading. It only takes loading so long because it's got to authenticate. Let's do it, Blizzard. Let us play offline. Replays. Duration, 6 minutes, 15 seconds. Duration, 4 minutes, 14 minutes. 6 minutes.
Send me a screenshot.
I can literally screenshot you on Discord.
Yeah.
This might temporarily break our streaming setup. So
It's fine.
People bear in mind. Duration, 23 minutes.
Too small. Hold on. Pop out. Make bigger. Wow. Yeah. Nope. Mine has not had that for literally months and months and months and months.
Clear your cache.
So it's a bug. Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
Ooh. I should have complained about that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Stop streaming. Boop. And the stream's fixed. Excellent.
Okay, so that actually makes it easier then. You just keep track. Mara versus Solar was 18 minutes and 46 seconds. Is the replay that they sent in 18 minutes and 46 seconds? Yes or no? Move on. Like, that's easy.
Yeah.
There's no way he's a random replay that's exactly that time on that map against Solar, right? Come
No,
on.
entirely unlikely.
Yeah.
The fact that they then don't want to pass these replays on is strange.
Yeah, it's not great. Not a good trend.
No, like I can't even
Okay.
imagine that they were paying him. I'm sure he's like, I would do this for free.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they were paying him. Who knows? Who knows?
All right. Well, that happened. What else? What is our next tournament?
GSL Season 1, which is
It is.
Which, by the way, those qualifiers are supposedly happening today.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I would explain the timing on the tweet, I guess.
Matches to be played online March 10th and 11th. Although there's still no date for the actual tournament. Cool.
Yeah, super cool. Well, good. I mean, that's the other little concerning thing here is they've got 2 years left for Tastosis to cast GSL on the contract.
You reckon?
Yeah.
You reckon Tastosis are employed through the ESL for GSL? Because
No, it's a different thing. What are you talking about?
Well, okay, so Blizzard gave ESL a 3-year contract deal for the run like the World Championship circuit.
I'm talking about GSL, not ESL.
What?
Tastosis casting GSL.
Right, but okay,
it's 2 years on the GSL contract they have with Tastosis.
Okay. When did you refine this information?
Like a week ago.
Okay, because I've literally never heard of this.
Uh-huh.
Who told you this? Tastosis?
I think Dead Infested brought it up. Artosis was talking about it on stream.
Oh, okay. Well,
so secondhand.
So technically, what that means is they're going to pay him for the next 2 years. That doesn't necessarily mean there'll be a tournament for him to cast.
Maybe.
And they could also just buy out their contracts. Like I'm sure there's a buyout clause where they're like, well, we're not going to run GSL for the next 2 years, so here's some money. Go away.
Entirely possible in the darkest timeline. That's what we get. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, the future has arrived.
All
right. What else? WandaVision finished up the season.
Yeah, heard good things.
Yeah, I mean, but I say the season, probably the series. They've said they're done with the series of WandaVision. Which I think is good. I think, you have a story to tell. You tell the story, you get out. I'm a fan of this. We've talked about it a lot over the years.
Yep.
It's good. So it's very much an experience of expectation versus not having expectations, though. The theorizing behind the show was going nuts. People thought that Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four would be introduced at some point. People were convinced Doctor Strange would come. People thought they would introduce the concept of mutants 100%. Like all these things they thought was going to happen. They thought the Marvel Comics villain Mephisto would show up, who is literally the devil. And none of that stuff happened. 0% of the things happened. So all those people were like, oh, okay. Or a little disappointed. But for someone like me who didn't get into that stuff, it was a fun ending. I think it was good. I like the fact that both of the major conflicts were resolved with smarts rather than just the punchings.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I mean, long story short, yeah, it's Agatha the witch versus Wanda, and she outsmarts her to win. And then there's White Vision versus constructed entirely from Chaos Magic Vision from Wanda, and they have a fight for a while, but then it comes down to a philosophical discussion involving the ship of Theseus that resolves that one.
Right.
Anyway, it's just some smart stuff, and I appreciate that about it.
Okay. So the idea that Marvel people have been theorizing with each and every trailer is not new. Right? So, welcome to the club of enjoying watching other people theorize to be only ultimately disappointed, because I've been doing that for years.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's new, not by any stretch.
It's
the same thing with Cyberpunk. If you followed every trailer and got hyped for everything that was talked about and theorized would be in Cyberpunk, you're disappointed with what you got. If you picked Cyberpunk up off the shelf and didn't play it on a PlayStation 4 and just played it, your experience is probably pretty great and probably significantly better compared to someone who's expecting all this amazing stuff they didn't get.
Right.
Yeah, not new.
Right, but I mean, okay, the way you phrased that made it feel like you knew that people were theorizing about the MCU. And I'm like, that's not new at all.
No.
I've been watching people go crazy thinking this hero and that villain's going to be in every single goddamn movie, only to have it all be bust.
Okay, I mean, this is something I've not done with the MCU. So, if you've been following that a lot more closely than I have, then absolutely old news.
I think they were maybe worked into a frenzy because this is the first MCU release in like forever. It feels like because the last thing was Spider-Man: Far From Home, and I feel like that was like 2019.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's find out. The internet says that was released in July 2019. You are not wrong.
Yeah. So they haven't had anything new to theorize over. I watched Godzilla today, like the
Godzilla versus King Kong.
No, because that's not out yet. I watched this in preparation for that. I'm now going to watch King of Monsters, and then I'm going to watch the King Kong movie.
You think it's important to get a good understanding of the lore and the world building before you watch the new one?
Of course, yeah. I really need to know these characters' deep beliefs and motivations for why he needs to like breathe fire down this other monster's throat. Okay.
Right, of course.
And in Godzilla is the actors who played Petra and Wanda in Age of Ultron. And I was like, these two people look very familiar for some reason. And there are a couple in that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, really? That's weird.
Yeah.
That's funny because in WandaVision's universe, Malcolm in the Middle exists and Bryan Cranston stars in that.
Oh, yeah.
And Bryan Cranston's also in that Godzilla movie. Mm-hmm. So it introduces some interesting questions about how this world works.
Right. It's like Iron Man calling Thor the Big Lebowski when the Big Lebowski is played by Jeff Bridges. And Jeff Bridges... Is it Jeff Bridges?
Yeah.
He was Ironmonger in the first Iron Man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird things with the MCU that way.
It's like, we really want to put this pop culture reference in, but we used one of those actors.
Okay, so that's interesting. Give me a theory that people are disappointed about with Endgame.
I mean, I haven't looked at them since before Endgame came out, right? Like theories are done before the movie release.
So nothing's really stuck out then as like being was a really big miss.
No, but I've seen people talk about like, oh, Iron Man 2 is going to have all kinds of crazy Iron Man armors, and then it was like 3. Like there's like 3 armors. There's his suit, his one in his suitcase, and then his new suit that defeats the villain at the end, right?
Yeah, okay.
I also saw people theorizing that the kid that saved Iron Man in that movie by wearing a mask. Well, he didn't save Iron Man. Iron Man saved him because there's a facial recognition kind of robot that's going to kill his kid because it thinks it's Iron Man. He's wearing an Iron Man mask. Is Peter Parker, and people were theorizing this, and then it basically got confirmed in like an interview or something. So that I remember that.
Okay, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The one thing about WandaVision that I think I'm most upset about is they brought in Evan Peters, Quicksilver from the X-Men universe. Mm-hmm. Right? They have him show up as a stand-in for Pietro from the MCU, right? And being like, hey, I'm Pietro, I'm your brother, right? I'm back. And it's like, okay, so you did that, and then there's no other indication that you're bringing mutants into the MCU.
Right.
That didn't turn out to be anything at all, which is crazy.
That was your cameo that you wanted. Well, I mean, he wasn't really a hero checking in, but that's the cameo that you got.
I guess that was it. I got to be happy with it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
thought that
also,
was crazy.
I also might be the only person who does not like that Quicksilver. I don't know.
The X-Men one?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like the best part of every X-Men movie for the last 5 years.
Yeah, but that's not saying much. The X-Men movies are really, really bad.
It's a low bar, fine. But still, you don't like the scene where he saves all the kids in the school from the explosion?
No.
Or the scene where they're helping Magneto escape from prison and
That-
he like
That
the
scene
kitchen
is
scene?
that scene is dumb. They turn off physics to make that scene work.
He's
Like, I get that he's fast.
His power turns off physics.
No,
What are you talking about?
His power doesn't turn off physics. He just runs really fast. That shouldn't turn off physics.
He
Right.
runs faster than the human body is physically capable.
No,
of.
okay.
It breaks physics.
There's a limit there of I can acceptably, like, okay, sure, he runs really fast. That's fine. But he, like, pushes bullets out of the way with fingers. The problem with that is he's moving so fast, time appears slow, right? That's his perception of time is slowed. So everything looks slower. That bullet is still
Accurate.
moving with the same mass and force that it would be in real time. So he shouldn't be able to just push it without it feeling like a gunshot hit him in the finger.
Wow, I did not realize this was one of your takes. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
Like, I think it's a fun scene, don't get me wrong, but I look at it and I'm like, everyone loves this scene for, like, how cool it would be to run really fast. Like, I've seen people basically be like, oh my god, super speed. It's, like, the most fun visually because everything looks kind of like they do it how it should, where you have the scene where he runs really fast and then you kind of get, like, the split second later from everyone else's perspective where everything just kind of happens. And I'm like,
Right.
yeah, visually that's a neat trick, but, like, I just watch it and I'm like, that shouldn't work like that, though. He's, like, literally just pushing bullets out of the way. Like, you just took 3 gunshots to your index finger, buddy.
So, are there other heroes you have problems with this way? I imagine there must be. Is he the only one?
I mean, The Flash, but for the same reasons.
For the same reason. That doesn't count.
Superman, but for the same reasons.
Yeah. So you really only care about this one aspect of superhero powers. Everything else is fine.
Well, okay, so each hero's power can, like, turn off physics involving them, but when they need to then interact with other things, it's where it annoys me. Like, Iron Man gets shot by a tank in Iron Man 1, and I don't...
Yeah.
Like, and he falls from the sky and hits the ground, right?
Yeah.
He's fine. Like, the tank shot did nothing. Like, War Machine in Civil War, he falls from the sky and he's paralyzed.
Yes.
In what should have been a much more sophisticated set of armor. But Iron Man was fine in the first one. It's inconsistent, that's all. The X-Men and DC, I'm much more like, that doesn't seem right in this scene. Mainly because I already don't like them, right? I'm much more lenient with the good Marvel movies because I already like them. So they get a pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big one, right? For all the heroes that are human, right? That aren't superhero augmented in some way on a physical level. Like, people die because their bodies move really fast or stop really fast, right? Like, that screws you up. And so a lot of the time, even to take the tank shot, and if it just moves you backwards really quickly, you can die from that. Like, it's not about it has to get through the armor to kill you. You can die inside that suit of armor, no problem, if they're playing it right, you know?
Right.
Yeah, so there's that stuff. I don't know, just... So you're saying his powers, which is only super speed, does not account for him being able to generate the force required to move a bullet that's in motion.
I'm not saying
from
he
a super
could. I'm not
speed.
saying he couldn't move it. I'm saying, but when it is in motion, it if he can move it, it should be able to move him, right? Like, 'cause he needs to be able to move at motion. It is also moving at motion.
Sure, but if he just had super strength as well as super speed, you'd care less about it? Like Superman doing it, you should have less of a problem with this.
Superman is bulletproof. The Flash is just like a squishy finger.
That's what I'm saying. So Superman, you have less of a problem with it because Superman also has bulletproof super strength.
Well, okay. So the issue is not the strength. Like I don't think the
Oh.
physical power required to move a bullet in motion is not hard. Like the wind does it, right? Like it's,
Okay, so
but
instead
it's the durability.
durability.
It's the durability because
So Superman's durability then.
right, yeah. But at the same time, I imagine if it hit Superman and he was trying to move it out of the way in slow motion, it should ricochet off him
Yeah.
because he's hard enough that it's a surface bullet should ricochet off. Which also then
Okay.
raises the question of how does like he have a handshake with anyone, right? Without them being like, I can't even push your skin in a little, right? Like he's a walking
Yeah.
slab of metal. Like I don't know how anyone touches him and does not immediately know he's an alien.
Right. It's a good point.
Yeah.
He shaves using his own eye lasers because razors can't do it. Yeah. Exactly.
Is that
true.
true? Is that true?
Yeah. He uses a little mirror. Uh-huh.
I need to see this.
Okay, hold on. Images, Superman shaving. Yeah. So like this.
Because I remember in the movie Hancock, he has to use his fingernails.
Right.
Oh wow, that's incredible
Uh-huh.
and stupid. I'm gonna be honest. Like, how does he know that will cut his hair, but not also like seal his pores?
Do you think he has pores?
Well, hair follicles. Excuse me. Like,
Oh,
the hair has to grow out of something, right?
yes. Good point. I don't know, man. Got nothing for you.
Okay.
Too many questions.
Superheroes—they don't always make sense, people.
They don't always make sense. Pro tip. All right, enough of that. Enough random going on about the heroes. Wonder Egg Priority was an Eclipse show this week.
Huzzah!
I was so happy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that they would do it again.
Could you imagine?
I know they're like, hey, just in case you missed something from the first clip show.
I really think they should have just taken a bye. Been like, no episode this week, guys. It's fine.
Ooh, that would have been what would be worse, another clip show or just nothing?
Well, no.
Probably another clip show.
Instead of the clip show, they should have just been like, no episode.
Oh.
Right? Like, I think no episode is better than showing us things we've already seen because you have
Yeah.
to fill.
I think I agree with that, 100%.
Yeah.
Mm.
So what happened
yeah.
this week?
That was good. It was narrow focused episode.
She has an albino roommate
Who's dead,
who's down,
but also in a coma.
but also in a coma. But the person in the coma is now dead.
Yeah, if we can believe that the dream sequence fighting they're doing is an accurate representation of somebody being dead.
No,
There's a lot of things here.
No, because Neru and I turned off her life support.
Yes.
She's now literally dead.
If you want to skip to the end of the episode, then yes, she's dead. Correct.
She is super dead.
Spoilers. Jeez.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, so she's dead now. But the start of the episode, she's not dead. Okay, so backing up a little bit, we learned a little bit about why Nero kind of sucks with people.
Mm-hmm.
It's because she's genius. It's because she was created from artificial insemination from two members of the Mensa in this universe, basically.
Mensa?
Yeah, I guess that's the American organization. The Smart People Organization Club, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Right? So they just took two people who were members of the club
and were like
combined their DNAs very scientifically and said, "Smart child, be born."
Right.
Yeah, which is totally how that works.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Every time. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Ideas stored in the genetics. IQ, I mean.
Yeah. So she doesn't have parents. I mean, she does, but she doesn't care who they are, nor have they been any kind of a parental figure to her at all, and she doesn't care.
Right.
Yeah. Which is like, okay, so basically you grew up without parents. That might explain some of your antisocial tendencies a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the girls have a play date and they do each other's nails and it's adorable. And
man,
then they very casually drop the fact that Nero's company is able to record dreams.
Yeah.
Like what?
That's a thing.
We haven't seen anything in this universe that's like anything about your science or technology is different from ours. There's supernatural elements with the mannequins and the dreams and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but like they're not. There's no flying cars. Like there's nothing indicative that this world is any different than ours. But all of a sudden, this one company has dream recording technology from the perspective of a third-person camera.
Right.
That's what I was noticing. Here's
Well-
Nero's dream. Is it from her perspective? No. We somehow got outside of her perspective and we're watching everything happen from a third perspective now, somehow.
So what that tells me is that they dream in third perspective. Like that
But that
is
doesn't-
that is the
They
perspective at
watch
which
themselves do the stuff?
yes.
That cannot be easy. That'd be so hard.
Also, I have an
'Cause-
article here that says MIT researchers have developed a way to record and alter dreams. So,
Oh, well, shoot. Is it in monochrome as well?
in the paper they say that the dreams are monochrome, but they're working on. No, I'm making that up. I'm making that up.
Ripped from the headlines, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Huh. Anyway, yeah, so just good episode, man. Like Nero shows some real emotion for the first time ever, I think, in the entire season so far. Like she really cared about this friend. She really loved this friend, and she felt like she was a kindred spirit. They were both artificially inseminated, brought about for science, and they both understood each other and could relate. And now she's gone.
Left her hands.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then there was kind of a throwaway protection storyline, right? Where they're having this nice conversation and figuring stuff out, and then it's like, oh, and by the way, there's this scientist that was your trauma and wanted to dissect you and study you your whole life, and now you have to deal with that. It's like, wait, what?
Well, okay, so I can kind of like you can put together pieces of an actual trauma there. Like this person who was probably a part of the research done that got this person born was interested in dissecting this little girl, right? 'Cause she's a genius, she's albino, she's a curiosity. And then you go, oh, she was also interested in near-death experiments. I wonder if she was trying to get away from anything, right?
Dang. You think it was an escape rather than scientific curiosity?
Porque no los dos.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right, because she's clearly has no, like, if it was scientific curiosity, she would want to come back and, like, share her results, right? Like, you need to publish a paper for it to be included in scientific memory, right?
True, but in dying, she discovered this whole parallel multiverse concept that was really interesting to her. I think that's why she didn't want to come back. She's happy studying this brand new frontier that nobody knew about, right?
Sure, yeah, and that because it's an escape. That's why she's so happy doing it. It's a theory.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. One which I assume will not get answers for, and I'm not sure it matters.
Probably. I did. There's just some good moments in the episode. I liked how when they're in the dream world, her friend goes, "You've made friends. That's great." And Nero's like, "I didn't tell you that. How do you know?" And she's like, "You're softer than you used to be, and that's good." I was like, "Oh, that's wonderful."
Okay, so when she's having that scene, they're like knelt on the floor or the ground somewhere.
Yeah.
You can see her friend's name, I can't remember it. Look down, and I was so sure she's like, they painted your nails, right? Like,
yeah,
the nails probably came along, but then they didn't reveal to that. I'm like, okay,
no.
but
they didn't even bother drawing the nails painted half the time.
Right.
There were a couple times, especially right after, they're like, "Oh, we just painted our nails," and the next like camera switch, same scene, they're not painted. And it's like, you guys,
right?
Like, I don't need it to be all the time, but like maybe literally the 4 seconds after you're done, they're still painted for a bit. How about that?
I really liked Momo's like I'll bring my yakitori machine, like my
Yeah.
and then she's got it in the box, and they're like, oh, we're in like an orientation video meeting, right? And she's like, was it okay to bring this? Like,
Yeah.
have I vastly misunderstood what this sleepover slumber party was for?
Well, probably. Like, come on. Like, come to my house, which is a corporate office building. Yeah, okay.
Right.
We knew what this was going to be the whole time. Yeah, but then it worked out. They made the yakitori, and it was fine.
Looked good too.
Yeah, totally did.
Yeah, anime food always looks better than real food.
Yeah, very fair. It just reminded me of the scene in Cyberpunk where they go get yakitori, and the Japanese guy's all pissed because it sucks.
Yeah, he's like, this is not real food. Yeah.
Made me laugh.
Yeah.
Also, I just appreciate the character development of Ai at this point, where like she has confidence now. It's crazy. Like
She has some.
yeah, some for sure. She just, especially at the very end, where she's like, "Look, I think I can help Nero by myself. I'm gonna go see. I'm gonna help her. I'm gonna say some things that are gonna help her. I believe I can do this." Right.
Right.
I thought that was nice.
That is nice, but also early in that scene, the moment things get tense, she starts zipping up her hoodie. Like,
She does, but
literally
she doesn't
block-
withdraw entirely.
not entirely, but she literally immediately starts to withdraw herself and protect herself. Right? Like,
She did. I
very
noticed
visually. Yeah.
But she's still comfortable expressing herself and saying what she believes and giving her input to the group. And again, that is made a lot easier by the fact that she trusts these girls and she knows that they care about her. And probably in a more public situation, she wouldn't. But I think it's still progress.
Okay, so that's all true. Now we need to discuss the mannequins.
Oh my gosh, yes we do.
Because holy shit, they are the source of female suicides in teenagers. That's
All of them are just these ones.
no, all mannequins.
Does it
Yeah,
matter? No. All teenage girl deaths or just the ones that they're saving in the eggs?
I think
Right?
I think it's
Does it
likely to
matter?
just be these ones because that's why they have the power to maybe save others.
Wait, what?
Like
Others who?
the ones in statues.
Okay.
Right? That they're saving, like, they're only responsible for these ones, not all suicides. I think is the logic.
Okay.
There.
Although, I mean, morally, is there a huge difference between being responsible for the suicides of like 50 teenage girls versus the suicides of millions? I mean,
Yes.
50 is a lot. It's still a number.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. At the moment, so far up to this point, we've been told that all of these suicides happened for like a reason where this person couldn't deal with the trauma, they didn't get the help they needed, shitty parents, etc., etc., etc.
That's where I was going to go with it. Is how are they responsible for them? We've seen why they killed themselves.
Right. I mean, all I can assume is that they have like dream hopping technology, and then they also gave these people very vivid bad dreams about how bad their lives going to be, and like drove them towards these ends. Like, that's like the only thing I can really come up with at the moment.
I mean, so you just take existing traumas and amplify them to the point of suicide. Yeah.
Right. And,
maybe.
And here's the thing, like, I have no idea where this show's going. It would not surprise me if they're like, oh, and by the way, there's aliens that we need you to fight in your dreams. That's why we got all your friends to kill themselves so you guys can be trained as warriors, right? To fight aliens, right?
Dark.
Like,
Yeah.
That would not surprise me. Actually, it would surprise me a little bit. But I don't know where this is going. How is the mannequins involved with Neru's assistant?
Right.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, the whole, oh no, our heroes accidentally stumbled upon the bad guys monologuing. Right?
I was like, why did you guys go
What?
there? Like, you guys were just on your way home from Neru's place. And you guys just casually thought you'd stop in to buy some eggs.
Also,
Like,
how do the mannequins, how can they not tell that somebody's walking up on them?
I don't know, they're mannequins. Like, I have no idea. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm just saying they should. That's it. I just want them to notice that someone is literally 20 feet from where they're standing.
I mean, they're hiding in a bush. Okay.
But no, they're not even really hiding in the bush. They're kind of standing behind the bush, and half their bodies are covered by a bush. That's it, man. That's all it is. Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So what did they say? Literally, they said if the girls knew,
they might
would
try
fight you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which that's interesting. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I've got no clue. I'm very excited to find out, though.
Uh-huh.
Whew. Good times.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, definitely some similarities to the one-shot anime from earlier that we both liked. Moving City.
Yep, I know. I can picture everything about it. I genuinely don't remember its name. All I can remember is the guy named Boss.
Yeah.
Decadence.
Decadence. Thank you.
There
Jeez,
we go.
we are bad at everything.
Sorry, I've been watching the Demon Slayer movie. I've just all the other animes has gone out of my mind.
Yes, no, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Also, I hate you. I don't hate you. I just hate the release schedule for this stupid movie.
I know.
All right. Yeah. So it's just absolutely incredible, good mystery stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I like the themes they're exploring.
Mm-hmm.
Got some good wholesome moments in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Wonder Egg is recommended for sure.
Yeah. Oh,
Attack on Titan did some stuff.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Anything
Attack on
interesting?
Titan. Yeah.
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 Yeah. You don't sound so confident.
Yeah. Well, okay. I don't know. So Zeke's plan is kind of sort of partially revealed. I still don't know what this guy wants.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we get this whole big thing with Sasha's family. So I mean, this is like one of the bigger coincidences in the history of coincidences, but the two warrior candidates who are like escaped on Paradise Island and running for their lives and trying to stay hidden run into Sasha's family. Like they're the ones that pick him up, right?
Right.
After Gabby killed Sasha. It's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So long story short, they end up going to a restaurant because another Marleyan is making food because he fell in love with Sasha and she liked his food so much that he decided to become a full-time chef, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
And it's revealed that Gabby killed Sasha. And Marleyan guy who was in love with Sasha goes nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he wants to kill Gabby. Mm-hmm. But he's like, hey, Sasha's dad, you want to do it? It's fine if you want to. I'll let you pull it off. If you don't want to, I'll do it. Right? It's like, geez, dude, you're going to kill a 10-year-old girl? Man. But then the cycle of revenge is ended. Sasha's dad is like, nope, we're not going to do that. We're going to make the world a better place by sparing this girl. We can, we'll figure this out. It's amazing. It's such a good moment.
That's, very on brand for that guy. Like, the last time we saw him, he was telling Sasha that, we need to help others. That way, one day we might need help as well. And, like, if we don't all come together to deal with our problems, it'll individually destroy us all one at a time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, he's the one good guy in all of Attack on Titan. He's the one good guy.
He is consistently a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, then the scouts show up because they want to talk to the Marleyan about some like subterfuge that they think the Marleyans are doing. And so they're talking about it. And then Aaron wanders in with his cult at this point. And so we've been talking about this in the Discord. But he walks into a room with Aaron, with Mikasa and Armin.
Mm-hmm.
And shows him that he's cut his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't say anything. Just shows him that he's cut his hand, like he's bleeding. So we have not been able to determine what the messaging is here exactly.
Mm-hmm. Does that where the show ends? Like, what happens after that?
That's it, man.
That's the end of the episode?
Well, okay, so I assumed he'd cut his hand to show them I'm going to transform here in like half a second, right? Be ready for that. But then they come back to him a couple minutes later, and they're just all sitting at a table hanging out. I'm like, but what? And I don't know. Apparently, in the manga and in the show, there've been a little bit of establishing that Titans in full control of their powers can decide to tighten up if they want to, or not if they don't want to. So even then, you'd think maybe Aaron's like, okay, I can tighten up anytime I want to. Hear me out. But like, it's Armin and Mikasa. You think if he doesn't distinctly threaten them, they're like, get this man, he's a wanted criminal. We're not going to listen to you at all, scum. No. Childhood friends. They've known each other literally forever, their entire lives. He knows that they care about him. I don't see why he needs to threaten them at all, unless he's just gone full psycho and doesn't understand human relationships anymore. Which, sure, maybe that happened.
Did he ever?
I mean, did he ever understand the lengths, like the relationships that he had with Harmon and Mikasa? I don't know, man. Maybe not.
Right, because like
he's just been so driven by revenge from day one. He just could never figure that out.
Maybe. I was thinking about it, and there's a scene in like the first episode where Aaron wakes up from taking a nap, and Mikasa's there. She's been like collecting all the firewood because he's a lazy shit.
Yep.
And all I'm expecting is at the end of this season, he wakes up again, and it's all been a dream.
No.
It just goes back to that point and he gets a do-over.
No.
No? You'll be unhappy with that?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Do we think Mikasa's capable of taking down one of the main Titans by herself?
Yeah.
I think so too. Like she's always been scary good.
Right.
And now this is years later. She's been doing nothing but killing Titans the whole time. So I mean, if it comes down to it, I think she could take Aaron in a fight.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's he doing? Like, why? Why actively threaten one of like the two people on this island who can take you down? You know?
Is she wearing her 3D tactical maneuver gear?
I think so. She's in full uniform, so I'd assume. But it's compact now, right? You don't have to walk around with the giant tubes on your legs anymore.
That's disappointing. I like that look.
Yeah, they updated it. Starting in this season, it's very compact. Like, it's a handheld thing now, and that's all it is. Which I don't know how the physics work for that at all, but whatever.
That's very disappointing. I do not like that.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it either.
Like,
so I assume you just keep it in your pocket and you're good to go at this point.
Probably. But when do they still their spare blades? Because they got to cut the Titan somehow, right?
That's true. Maybe their swords are so awesome they don't need spare blades anymore.
So they just dropped the whole aspect of these warriors have supplies in which they consume in Titan fighting aspect.
I think so, yeah. I think that's done.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, the movie's not really about Titan fighting anymore, right?
Yeah, but it was so much better when it was, right? When it was actually just about survival of humanity, it was a legit amazing show. And now everyone's like, well, maybe it's fascism, right?
Right. It's a little more complex now.
And like, here's the thing. The mystery isn't bad, right? And like, it's an interesting story regardless, I think. But I feel like I really want to track when did the story like element shift from humanity survival to crazy over the top and ridiculous story, like plot twists and stuff happened, and when did it get popular to just be like he had a show or a manga that was about killing Titans and it got super popular and he just felt compelled to put something more interesting in it. Right?
Yeah, that's the question. Did he have this planned out from the beginning, or did this creep into it over time?
And literally everyone I've ever seen in Discords and Reddits and in YouTube comments has said this has been planned out from day one because you can always go back and you can find these subtle little references and hints. And I even saw a video of someone like 5 years ago comparing it to Lost and just being like, I don't think anything's going to get explained because I don't think it's been planned, right?
But
And
then he has been explaining a ton of stuff.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
just the other day I saw him on Twitter talking about that video, and like every few years someone tells me to try and catch up on it again and have a look and see if it makes sense. And he went through and was like, I still think it's a poorly told story. He thinks it's gross and just overly gratuitous.
Well, I mean, okay, that's what it's been from day one, but all right.
Right, and he didn't like it for that reason at the time as well. It's just not what he's into, which is fair.
Sure, yeah.
And that's where I found that video that I linked in the Discord about whether or not the allegories went a step too far. If the author had been lazy or unintentionally set up it to be as is, which is an interesting video unto itself. But I don't know. I like if it wraps all up in a nice way, great. But it's not the show that I like. I feel anymore.
You just wish it was more Titan killing.
I just
more survival.
Yeah, if you because when you say there's a massive enemy that's going to kill humanity and we're going to have a show about it, it can't just be like we're going to keep killing Titans every day for the rest of the day and try and that's the show. Like you need to have something more. And like an Origin of Titans is a perfectly good like plot hook. Like where do these people go? They try and discover the beginnings of Titans, like the origins of Titans, and try to re-expand for humanity. I think there's an interesting show there. I don't know if it goes 5 seasons or 4 seasons in a movie, right? I think it wraps up a lot quicker. I think it wraps
definitely.
Up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I also, I don't know, I just prefer the humanity is walled up in giant city stories.
Yeah.
I just prefer that.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. Oh god, Pigs just tweeted something. You know that thing that
TLO did?
TLO did? He did that with Artosis.
Nice.
Yeah. You should have a look at that.
Oh, okay.
Other than that, I think we're about done for today.
Yeah, I think we're about done.
Okay, cool.
Sorry. Nice job, Pig.
Yep.
Good stuff. All right. Yep. That's going to be it from us this week then. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for enjoying another episode of the podcast. Again, we broadcast this thing live on twitch.tv/Somicron every Tuesday at around 9 Eastern, 1 p.m. Australian.
1 p.m. Australian. Although, is daylight savings coming up soon?
Oh, it is. I think my daylight savings is this week, actually.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah, it's totally gross. So that's going to change everything. I learned from a Tom Scott video that some places are on the half hour. Like, what in the hell?
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. You're just all anarchists? You want to see the world burn? Get on the hour with everyone else, you crazy people. All right.
Yeah. I think Australia has some half-hour time zones.
Oh my gosh, knock it off. All right, we'll deal with that later. Yeah, we're done. Check out the show notes. You can go support the podcast directly through Somicron's Patreon, link in the said show notes. Just search Somicron on patreon.com. That'll work. And the merch available at falconpaladin.store.
That is also true.
Yeah, so join us next week. Come say hi. We'll say hi back. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy out there. And above all, you take care of yourselves. Goodbye.
Bye.